Hello YouTubers, Reloading Bench back with you once again on this yucky, coldish, gloomy, wet weekend morning. And today we're going to technically do an unboxing because this is a box. Maybe it's, I don't know, what are these things called? Obviously not a box. It's a container. How about we're uncontainering? This is a Craftsman. And I saw this at Lowe's. This is years ago. I picked this up probably 2-3 years ago. And at the time, I picked it up to store what's inside here because I wanted to keep it fresh and dust-free, because this is why I put covers on everything in the garage, because my garage gets dusty with all the stuff I do. You can see the dust, hopefully. And I'd rather have that land on covers than on my gear. So in any case, you know I have an affinity for Craftsman. I'm also a red and black fan. I like the color scheme. But this was some Harbor Freight stuff from years ago. And these are filters. Different types of painting filters. I can't remember what the 110, 120, 60, 70 meant at the time. I will look that up. But they're paint strainers. Filters and paint strainers. Different types. 2 different types. And my 30-day limited warranty on the Harbor Freight tool has expired because I bought these tools a long time ago. In fact, I didn't even remember what I had in here. So we have spray gun canister liners. We have touch-up spray gun. We have a 20-ounce high-volume, low-pressure gravity feed spray gun. And again, didn't even remember I had these. So these have been, and these are a couple of regulators. I'm guessing I got one for each gun. One for each spigot, and that is what was in this container. So years ago, my thought was, when I picked these up years ago, I don't even know if there's a date on any of these. Years ago, when I picked these up, the intent was for, you know, restoration projects to use the spray gun. And they've never been used. They're brand new, never used, and they've just sat in that container for probably 2-3 plus years. Well, in any case, I've got some restoration projects, or a restoration project. And these look to be the exact same, so I'm assuming one for each gun. And my restoration project is my Unisaw. And there's a whole lot of gray paint on the Unisaw. Am I even in frame? Maybe that's a little better. There's a whole lot of gray paint on that Unisaw. Or let me rephrase that. I will need to use a whole lot of gray paint on the Unisaw, considering the size of the cabinet, both inside and out. I would paint the inside and the outside, as well as the other pieces. You know, the trunnions, the yoke, all the stuff that's in gray. And I have no idea how to use this. And that's a theme on my channel. I have no idea how to do certain things. And nothing wrong with that. In fact, you know what? Let me, while I'm looking, so that would go with that. In fact, let's take a peek at what's even in here. Nothing. So that's just clean spray gun immediately after every use. So my intent is to spray, and I've done the Craftsman 100 cabinets. And I've gone through a lot of cans of spray paint, and you know, those are smaller projects, and I know with each one of those projects, I thought to myself, yeah, this is too small. It's not worth busting this out, all this stuff. And quite frankly, you know, this is a bit of effort in terms of getting the spray pattern, the volume, the atomization, you know, the mix. So looks like I did this one ready for my, and this, you know, it's identical, only it's smaller. It's a little cutie. The trigger feels a little, you know, I'm guessing I was walking through Harbor Freight one day going, yeah, I should pick that up. And that's probably what I did. And then I installed this one and didn't install that one. So I wonder why. I wonder why. No idea. That's it. So, and where did this one come from? Oh, we have to rewatch the video to see where I just pulled that out of. So I'll put this back because my thought was I would use this one. But this is kind of cute. I'm guessing these were, you know, again, I was at a stage of, oh, I'm going to paint all kinds of stuff, and these were must-have items, and I didn't really obviously need them as much as I thought I did because I never used them. So let me see if I have in my tool of tools. I keep a box of miscellaneous air tool pieces. Anything related to air tools, nail gun, all that good stuff. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for something like this. Something like that. Yeah, that is correct. That is what I need. Oh, and I also have a gravity-fed spot blaster gun. I know where that is. Maybe that's what... We'll do that. All right, let's put this back. Let's wind this. And for those of you, I saw this trick online where the idea was to feed the threads, get the threads going. Wind the threads. Obviously, I'm not that good at it. Get the threads packed, and then go into the mode of. Yeah, that's a shitty job. But oh, that's because I'm out of tape. You know what? Before I do this, let's make sure it fits, because yep, it fits. I've purchased these before, and I've had them not work with my particular quick release fittings. So I will make sure they work with my quick release fittings. And it's always the wrench I don't grab that is the one I need. That should work just fine. I'll put this out because I will need to get more, and I will test it. And I know this rotates, and because it's not Okay, maybe it doesn't rotate. I thought it did. Okay, so that works fine. What we will also do is fine tune, let's see, black or blue. Let's do the big one with the big gun and the little one with the little gun. And I have no idea what this is set to, and my compressor is way too low, so let me charge that up and we'll be right back. All right, so while the compressor was making much loud noise, I was reading some of the instructions, and they make a really big deal about cleaning, after every use, which I would think would be completely obvious. But they talk about fluid tip, and the choice of fluid tip will vary according to the consistency of the fluid being sprayed. Consult paint manufacturer. Latex paint, heavy, so 1.8 to 2.5. I have no idea what tip size comes, and this does come off. So I have no idea what tip size this is. This is a 1.4 tip. So a 1.4 is good for sugar water, simple syrup kind of thing. I'm going to be painting, let's see, automotive lacquer, thin, clear coats, okay, wood and enamels, 1.5 to 1.8. So I need to get, I'm going to take a picture. So I have it on my list to go to Harbor Freight to return my wonderful puller, my bearing puller, so that I can get the 8-inch puller, which again you'll see that in a video at some point. So I need to get a different tip, and we will test the regulator here in a second. So this weekend's journey is probably to learn how to paint, even though I don't have any paint to paint with. Yeah, I don't know if I want to have a cable in between that or have that on there like that, but that's a future decision. We won't worry about that right now. Maybe I'll put something in between. Maybe I'll have this in between and have another, small cable like this, so that when I'm moving around, I'm not, I don't have this. We'll see. Again, for all those who are like, he doesn't know what he's doing, that is correct. I am trying to figure this out. All right, so I think I'm at roughly 20 pounds. No. Okay, that's 25. Okay, so that's spraying at 30 psi. I'm going to turn that down to 20. And again, I think the nozzle, the tip, will make a difference. I'm sure somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. So the idea is to pick up something like the Rust-Oleum machine gray in oil-based enamel. And I want to hope that particular, I don't know if that color will match. And then I don't even know if matching is important at this point, because it's not going to be original. So does it really matter? I had a feeling that wouldn't go back in quite the same way. So, I don't know that matching is important at this point. I think we're going to have a challenge on how we're going to fit everything back in. I don't know that it will fit back in and close up correctly. So I think what I might do is that is just not going to again, I don't know that the box is important enough anymore. I think we're good enough because it is going to go back in the big black box. I'll see what the difference in I'm going to guess the 6070 has to do with the viscosity of the paint, the thickness of the paint. One is probably, let's see if I can visually see the difference. It looks like this is for a much thinner version than this. So I don't even know if I'd actually use that or not. I see people using it and I'm like, is it really necessary? I don't know. So this, although it's not new, it's going to get used for this particular project to repaint the cabinet for the Unisaw. So it's going to be a while because I still have a lot to do in terms of taking that apart. But I've had this stuff for years, and this is why I picked that up, because I knew this was going to happen. Don't ask me how, but I did. Later. Well, hello, YouTubers. Reloading Bench back with you once again. And today is box day from our friends at Harbor Freight. And I think you know already how I feel about Harbor Freight. There's a time, place, and cost for Harbor Freight. And after watching videos on spraying paint, this particular video is going to tie into what I'm doing with spraying the Unisaw. So I'm going to try this Spectrum Universal Paint System for my Harbor Freight purple paint gun. And that was the only thing in this box. And these two boxes, these two boxes shipped to my home was $5.99 or $6.99. So I did the math in terms of my time, the gas. So usually if I'm in a city that has a Harbor Freight, I'll visit the Harbor Freight. But if I need something from Harbor Freight that I don't intend on visiting anytime soon, I'll order it. They used to have, I think, $4.99 or $5.99 flat shipping, which was the bomb. But even so, in today's world, $6.99, I think it was $5.99 or $6.99 shipping. It was $1 or $2 more than what I remember it from past. It's still kick-ass compared to some of the rates of today for really ridiculously small boxes. And I'm not sure if this is everything. Yeah, it looks like everything I ordered. So I also ordered a stand for my purple spray gun. I also, in addition to this particular universal paint system, I thought I would order some disposable paint cups, because when I looked in my Harbor Freight paint kit, I noticed that I had liners. Well, those liners are not meant for the plastic cups. They're meant for the metal vacuum cups. Didn't know that at the time. You know, live and learn. Again, bought that years ago. And I also discovered, let me rearrange the camera back in a second. That's a little better. I also discovered that the regulator I had, one of those didn't work. Thank goodness it was the cheaper garbagey one. So again, gravity spray gun stand, and I probably won't be painting for months until the weather gets better. This kit, which requires, hopefully I bought the right adapter, in order to mount this kit on this gun, because this gun takes these kind of cups, which we're going to confirm right about now. So 1 second, please. There's my purple gun, and I also ordered these. These came in a while back. These are water dirt separators. So my goal, again, these look like throwaway versions, which we will confirm right about now. Let's get one box, and we don't need this at the moment, so this has a metal. Again, it's cheapy stuff, but not as cheapy. So let's go with the easiest way to open this, which I think is from the bottom, the least amount of tape. And again, I have never, I'm a rattle can guy, and I thought, you know, I'm sick and tired of buying endless amounts of rattle can spray paint. So I thought I'd give something a little different a try. All right, so we got a whole bunch of cups, and we got a whole bunch of, I think there's five in here. And today was blood day. I went to reach for something, and I caught myself on the edge of the saw stand, not the Unisaw, the Craftsman down at the bottom. I'm like, holy shit, just, you know how you catch your knuckle and it's like right on the edge of something? You're like, ah, that hurt, that bled. And then I was doing something else on the lathe, and nothing on the lathe per se, moving something, and I cut myself there too. So I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding all over the place. All right, so I'm not sure what that's there for. So it looks like these fit. So in theory, it should be as simple as spray and toss. Again, I'm not quite sure why. Maybe a different gun adapter. All right, so these are a success. That's some good news. I could use some good news. Well, and you have a whole bunch more of those adapters in there. All right, Harbor Freight to the rescue. Again, this was like $9. Really, can you beat that? I don't think you can. Sorry for the reach around. All right, this system requires, hopefully, this adapter. And there were a number of adapters, and there's a number of Harbor Freight carried guns. So this one didn't necessarily say it was for the Central Pneumatic, the Harbor Freight brand, but I was looking at the base to see which one had threads, because I think there's 4 of them. Oh, those are some sharp edges. There was roughly 4 of these, and okay, that's good news. I'm glad that fits, because this particular this Spectrum Universal Paint Kit, I think this is a Harbor Freight knockoff of another fancy schmancy brand, a name brand that offers this. Okay, that's interesting packing. Again, throwaway, everything's throwaway, which is both good and bad. What's cool and gets a lot of rave reviews is There's already a screen in here. So would I filter the paint? Yes, I would still filter the paint, but that little plastic filter that you see right there, that's going bye-bye. Going bye-bye. All right, so what I wanted to confirm, oh, I guess I didn't need to take all this out. So here's the liners, the outside, and then the inside liners, which are the equivalent of, you know, these throwaway cups, paint cups. So again, it's just half a dozen of one, six of another version of a throwaway system. And it's unfortunate, but that's the society we live in. We are a throwaway society, so I'm not going to fight that. It's not my battle to fight. And obviously I'm participating in the throwaway system. So assuming that this was, you know, your paint thingy thing. Okay, so that's not... This might not be the system I thought it was going to be. So what is up with... Okay, so that's the difference. So this system looks like it clips on like that, as opposed to the name brand system. Actually, nah, that doesn't look right. Yeah, maybe. So maybe that is how it clips on. I mean, it looks like it's on there. I mean, it would be dropping paint, and it's kind of sealed right there. So I guess, so the name brand system uses something very similar and just snaps in. A different kind of snaps in. And that is going to cut me. I'm sure of that. That will cut me. That is some sharp shit plastic. And I'm kind of tired of bleeding today. I would prefer not to bleed anymore today. So, I think let me get a glove up in here so I don't bleed again. I don't need to be putting any more liquid Band-Aid on. Yeah, that's pretty tightish. Yeah, I'm gonna say that yeah, it's just a different model. Just snaps in. All right, we're good there. So I will put this. That's coming out because that's not going to be needed, because it will be a double filter. It's a filter. It would be this filter, and then it would be this filter. So I think we are plenty o filtered. Plenty o filtered. All right. I don't remember where this one came from. I don't know that it matters. I'll keep this boxed so it doesn't get all nasty. Too much stuff. We have this. Then I think I'm going to do something a little bit different with the regulator slash... I think the way I'm going to work this a little bit different. Little bit different. Little bit different. These are quite valuable. We'll do a little repair on this. And I realize I might be off screen a little bit, but I think you all can understand. All right, so if that's the gun edge, that's the way this will sit. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if that tightens up. We're gonna find out in a second here. Too much stuff on the bench. Seems like it might a little. I will keep all of the packaging in case I need to visit our friends at, oh, I guess this is like that. All right, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting something a little more locked in. We'll see. That's interesting. Interesting. All right, so let's open our little air surprise. Not to be confused with air supply. All right, that was a pretty bad joke. All right, this was a Amazon 3-for pack. Let me do my little tricky trick thing here. And if memory serves, it was up to air. I'm reasonably confident that's what it was, because I remember the instructions for the blue top. Blue to gun. So I was debating whether to put this on the end of the of my air supply, and that's probably going to be good enough. And this is plasticky, so I want to be very carefully-ish. All right, so that would be my gun solution. Yeah, it's turned into a big old fucking monster. Big old giant thing. So this may get relegated to closer to the compressor than to the gun, and the gun might just be the hose. All right, I'm going to attach this to air and see what it feels like. All right, so we have about 100 psi in the tank right now. I've turned this down to what I think is a low number, which I guess we'll find out here in a second. We got some leaky. Wow, this is a shitty. Yeah, it's leaking right here. Wow, that's a shitty. I was wondering what was up with that. So we might be visiting Harbor Freight to take this shit back, because I didn't think this should be so weak. Yeah, I don't think this should be. Yeah, this looks like it's a little firmer on yeah, I'm not liking that. Something ain't right there. Unless they just don't want it on this thing. Maybe they want it on this thing. Something ain't right. Something ain't right, folks. Something is not right. Yeah, I don't think that should be like that. That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so that makes more sense. So it looks like the threads on here are too short for this particular. Okay, so that makes me feel a little better. I don't like this because maybe that's enough. Back to the drawing board here. Reusability. You're learning as I'm learning. Actually, you guys probably already know. You're like, oh, you dumbass. That's not how you do it. But that's okay. Everybody had to start at zero, including the experts. But I was right when I called out that this didn't feel right. Shouldn't be happening. All right, so we will go back to closing that off a little bit. Let's redo this a little bit better than. All right, let's see how that works. Oh, that's mighty close to our little buddy here for the air supply. All right, back to the testing. Let's see what we got. How much hissing? Okay, that's better. All right, let's see what we got for pressure. Nothing. 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 Wow. All right, so we're still fucked right there. All right, so that's a no-go right there. That's a no-go right there. All right, let me take you guys off camera while I do some brainiacking and figure out what my solution's gonna look like, because that's a no-go. That's a no-go-y. All right, back in a bit. We now have a little bit of a Frankenstein. So, this allows me to, adjust at will. And this seemed to be a very sensitive, yeah, this is just, this is looks like a pipe from the 70s. All right, we're going to connect it and see if we hear any hiss. Okay, it's a good sound. The fact that there is no sound. Okay, we're hissing right about here. And that's 20. Okay, I'm spraying out at about 30 psi. Yeah, I don't know if I want that much shit hanging off my stuff. Not sure. That's a whole lot of shit. And I'm still getting some so not sure what I want to do. But today's not the day to really worry about it. So here's all my pieces. I'll figure out how to make them work. Just not today, because we won't be painting anytime soon. So you don't need to see my struggles on camera. But we'll do something soon. I think I'm going to put one of these on my yeah, that's a shame that this was so short that this wouldn't work. You know, I kind of like this. All right, we'll see later. All right, I tinkered a little bit more and got things, my Frankenstein connection, all hooked up. And I put the paint stand together, which is all of one thing. Putting this top which holds the paper filter, so it will strain into the gun. And I put this on just to show you that it needs a container to hold in here. And then obviously if you have this, you would have to have this standing up on something to clear all this stuff. So I think the better solution, and this was like $11 for the stand, so we're not talking any real money. I think the better solution is potentially maybe clamp this on a ladder. That seems to be one of my preferred thoughts at the moment, simply because you're not going to bolt it to it. Well, I'm not. And if I did, it would have to be, again, because I don't really paint. So there's just not a lot of clearance there. So, and I'm not going to have this cup, maybe one of the disposable cups or the other disposable system that needs this adapter. So, which doesn't want to go on super quick and easy. There we go. But again, you know, so I'm thinking maybe rig something up where the gun can just be held up by, you know, just put some wire thingy together for a hook, just to hold it up like that, and hold it up high enough where it clears, you know, everything. Don't know. Not going to worry about it though. It's not a big deal at the moment. Again, painting will only be over a couple day. I'm thinking a couple day span, maybe a week or two, depending on how I paint the parts, how much paint goes into the parts. But in order to demonstrate, because somebody will say, does it really work? And the answer is yes, it does. So this was the solution I came up with that allowed for the seal. But because there's so many freaking pieces. All right, so, and again, this allows me to rotate, so I have the regulator in front of me, the water/dirt separator, and then I'm running at 45, 50. Let me turn that down a little. Okay, so there's about 30. So it's, again, so it works. And we're at a point where we can say probably done for now. Again, we'll figure out how this ultimately gets mounted, and all these pieces are reusable in terms of other parts because I pulled these off other things. So yeah, I'm just not a big fan of this Frankenstein thing. I'd prefer to have the paint gun just to have a, you know, cable off that, cord, whatever it's called, hose, I guess is the right term. But yeah, hey, it is what it is. So this is probably going to sound like the best solution from my perspective, or seem like the best solution. So that's it for now until we start painting in the warmer weather, which probably won't happen. I mean, we're in end of February right now. I'm betting April until it warms up a little bit and things are a little nicer outside to be able to paint, which will give me plenty of time to take things apart and clean on the saw. Which right now I have the arbor apart, and or at least I have the arbor out. Can't get it apart because of the age, and I've been soaking it in penetrating oil and crawl, so we'll see how that goes. A bit of a challenge. But that is it for tonight, and all of the good stuff later. Hello, YouTubers. Reloading Bench back with you once again. We've got some bags in a box from our friends at the Rainforest, and most of this stuff is related to the Unisaw. I think this one is miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. I was doing my taxes, and I went to print some stuff, and got my toner almost gone message, and I went to go see how toner cartridges cost, and they're freaking ridiculously overpriced. And the chip versus no chip. So the no chip is much less expensive because there's no chip to talk to the printer to tell it how much ink is left. So I don't know how good the no chip is versus the more expensive chip version. So we'll see how that goes. And this, there's a funny story behind this. I ordered this, not these, but this type of thing from the Rainforest, 3 weeks ago. And then didn't realize it was coming from China. Didn't pay attention. You know, shopping by price. Okay, it was a great deal. I'm like, cool. And like a week and a half later, I get the problem with your order. And the comment was undeliverable. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Undeliverable. Well, obviously I know what it means. It can't be delivered. But I'm like, what do you mean undeliverable? And, you know, that's not my fault. So, you know, what's up? So it said I had to wait a couple days before I could, you know, make a complaint or talk about the issue or whatever. And then I waited that time. And what bothers me, well, these are fucking dirty as hell. Dirty, dusty, they already look used. What bothered me about this, well, two things. One, I already have this pencil sharpener somewhere, you know, can't find it, MFer. Well, in any case, when I did my comeback later for your, you know, issue, it then told me, you're not eligible for a refund. I'm like, okay, so it's undeliverable, which wasn't my fault, and you're telling me I'm ineligible for a refund, so essentially you've stolen my money. So I called up Amazon. I don't bother with the chats. I call customer service because the chats are just bots that have such limited. And I said, hey, WTF? Yeah, it's a third-party reseller. No, I don't give a shit who it is. you, Amazon, took my money because you're going to pay the reseller. You guys took my money, and you guys are telling me it's undeliverable. Somebody's telling me it's undeliverable. So basically, he was saying, too bad, so sad for you. I'm like, no, that's not happening. I want my money. Oh, well, we have to wait 48 hours because we're going to contact the seller. Well, then what? Well, then they have a week to respond to what they're going to do to make it right. And I'm like, and then what? Well, then if they don't make it right, they're banned from the platform. I'm like, okay, so in all of this explanation, you mentioned nothing about my money. Yeah. After they respond a week plus the 48 hours. So basically a two-week time lapse. Like, holy moly. And then the dude, who English is not his first language, is telling me I need to be more careful who I buy from. I'm like, you didn't just say that. You, Amazon. And then I went kind of apeshit on him. I'm like, no, Amazon. You need to filter out your sellers to keep my buying safe. This is not my responsibility. This is your responsibility, Amazon. So come on now. Come on. Unbelievable. Just the attitude and the expectation. Okay, so obviously these are mixing cups. And I was going to, and this is for the Unisaw, the painting of the Unisaw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. These are 12 32-ounce mixing cups for the paint that I will be mixing. And by that, mixing the oil-based paint, what I'm going to cut it with, whether that's acetone or mineral spirits, the hardener, and the dryer agent. So between all of that, I don't want to have to worry about cleaning cups out because I'm going to have to paint in stages. So that means multiple runs over multiple days because I'm trying to figure out how I can paint these things in one day, and I just don't have the space and or setup to be able to hang all the parts, the internal parts, to paint and then to let dry. So I'm probably going to have to do it over a couple day period of painting one side, then flipping it over, then painting another side, which then means mixing, cleaning, mixing. Again, different time frames. So I thought I'd pick up some tack cloths. Can't go wrong with tack cloths. And I got these initially at a local Taps Plastic, and I love how sturdy they are. So I thought, oh, let me get some in bulk from our friends at the Rainforest because they're cheaper in bulk. And this will go with my other paint supplies that probably have not been shown on the channel yet. But by the time you see this, they will have been shown. So, and maybe by then I'll need a new cartridge. So that is it for today's Unisaw. I think I've got everything to do the Unisaw now. The Unisaw is almost done. The only thing left on the Unisaw is paint prep, painting the primer, and painting the final coats, and then assembling. All the 95% of the parts are done in terms of restoration and cleaning. So getting closer. Later.